welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to start in on assembling the bracket that holds the air compressors, the tank, and the valve inside of the trunk area of this car. So I will be putting all that stuff onto the bracket. I have to wire the valves underneath it. I have to wire the starter switch on it. I have to wire the pressure switch on it, so stuff like that. So I'm going to be all assembling it so that way it goes into the car as one unit on this, and then it looks nice and clean. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I'm gonna assemble these valves right here. So these valves are directional. So you just gotta make sure the airflow goes in this way. So I have my inlet coming in right here. Going to a street T. The other valve is gonna go right there, like that. This one right here is gonna go here to the air shocks in the front. So I'm gonna get this assembled. That way we can mount it on the bottom of the bracket. Pretty much it right there. Okay, so now that I got the valves assembled, I'm going to actually assemble this tank now. So these are all of the fittings that go inside of it. This is a 3/8 plug that goes here. This is a drain valve that goes at the bottom. I have my pressure switch, my reducer for it, and then these two go on the side of the tank to feed to the valves. And then obviously the front of the tank is going to be getting the compressors themselves. So like I said, I'm just going to assemble all of this, put it all in there. That way I can get it ready to put it on the bracket and whatnot. So let's get started on this. So that is that. I got the tank all assembled. The valves are assembled. I have to put this on the bracket still, but like I said, I like to use Teflon tape for this because I've actually used glue before. And if you do have a leak, with your air, the glue is really hard to get off. So these are like super tight. You got to heat them up in order to even break the glue loose. So that's just too difficult of a repair if you're just trying to do regular maintenance on it, or you just have a small leak that you want to repair. So I like to use Teflon tape. It never gives me an issue, but like I said, that's the reason why I like to use it over glue. Glue is good too, but like I said, if you don't seal it up the first time that you do it, it's hard to get back off. So that is it for this one right here. I'm gonna set up the bracket, pull out the compressors and all that, and then I will start setting up the stuff onto the bracket itself. All right, so this is my bracket here. This mounts over the tank in the trunk, and then the Vire 444s I get here also. This guy wanted to go black on these ones, so we went black. My valves I have here, and then this is my starter solenoid that I use to connect to the compressors here. So the part number here is F496. So these right here is just a starter relay to kick over the compressors. So like I said, what I'm going to do is mount these on this right here. The valves are going to get mounted underneath it, and this is going to get mounted underneath it also. So all my wiring is going to stay underneath this right here, so when it's inside of the car, it looks nice and clean. So like I said, this is going to go here. All right, this will go here, and then these are my tank mounts right here. So these will mount the tank like that. So I'm going to get all this stuff mounted. I'll mount the tank probably last, just so it's not in the way. So I'll mount all this stuff right here. Let me get all these wired up. I got to get these cut off, shortened, tied together, grounded, stuff like that. So let me get all this stuff right here mounted where it's going to go, and then I can go from there on. starting the wiring and all that. These are my screws. They come with the compressors. So I just had to make one small hole here. Made a small hole here, and that's just because I like to use the compressor bolts to mount the stuff underneath it. So this one right here is the starter cylinder that goes underneath it. So it didn't have the other hole on the other side, so I just drilled one hole right there so I can mount this underneath on both sides and not just hanging from one. So yeah. All right, so I got that mounted nice and solid. I'm actually probably gonna take it off again because I might want to ground these to it. So I'm unsure if I want to run both of the hot and ground to this side and just ground on one area, or if I just want to run, because the positive has to go over here anyways. The positive's got to connect to one of these right here. I might go to this one over here to make it a little easier to put on the power cable once this is in the car, so I can actually reach under there a little easier right here versus over here where this bracket is. So I have to run both positives to one of these sides, so I might just run both negatives over at the same time. I'm gonna mount the bracket, or not the bracket, the valves underneath here also. So I like to mount them in there. Probably do that after I get all this situated here, because kind of in the way. I got to tilt these back a little more like that to get them in. So I'm thinking just wrapping these whole things just so it looks a little nicer. I shouldn't have stopped right there, but I'll just extend the heat shrink all the way over here so it's all black underneath, perfectly clean. Okay, so I did have to drill one more hole here just to get the valve to sit where I wanted it to sit. I didn't want it to hang down this way or come up too far over here. I wanted it to kind of sit in the middle, so I did drill another hole here to mount them properly. So now I can mount the valves fully right here. So let me get that done, and then I will ground them, and then that's almost it for the whole like mounting bracket section of this. I have to put a power wire going here to the pressure switch on the tank, and that should be it. it's mounted where I want it to go. Now I just gotta ground them. It's the easy part also. Just gonna ground both of these valves together. These power wires, these red ones go to the remote that we're gonna be wiring into the bug. So yeah, this is up, and wait, yeah, this is up and this is down. So this will go to the up on the remote, this will go to the down on the remote, front up, front down. And like I said, these just get grounded, so I'll ground both of these here, and that'll be that. All right, so there it is, all mounted. This is solid, this is solid. The compressors are wired to this. They're all grounded. These two valves are grounded. Like I said, this has to go to the remote. I have to run one wire from here to the pressure switch. The power wire goes to the battery from here. And then this right here could get slapped in the car. Wire these up and then it'll work. So I have the rear ones. I don't put both of them up front right here because I don't want the air to have to travel that far to air out. So I put the rear valves underneath the back seat, and then the front ones underneath this tank bracket right here. Just because, like I said, I don't want it to have to travel farther to air out. If it was that way, the rear would actually air out slower than the front by quite a bit. So it does already a little bit, but can't really prevent it. But by having the valves positioned where I'm going to put them, it actually helps it out a lot. So like I said, that's it for this. I'm going to put the tank on it now. So I'll get this flip back over, put the tank on it, and then run this wire from here to the pressure switch. All right, so the tank brackets now. So easy to mount. Just want to make sure we're positioned to where it doesn't hit the compressors. But this overall diameter of this should be roughly, or should be like the exact of where the outside diameter of the tank is. So like I said, pretty easy to mount. Just a couple bolts and that's it. All right, so I got the tank all mounted, and I actually had to switch these two fittings right here, or these two, fittings. The plug was on this side, the pressure switch was on this side. Now I wanted to run a wire from here to here, and I didn't want it to run crossways like this. I should have thought about it before I put them on. So it'll just go directly from here to here, and then this airline will wrap around straight to here. So like I said, let me get this wire hooked up. I just got to go from here to here, and then from here out. This one right here is just gonna get the main power wire coming in. And like I said, these are gonna get to the switches. So let me get this hooked up. Okay, that is that. It's all done. Like I said, it's all wired. I have both of these grounded. This is grounded to the actual bracket. Okay, and then these are mounted to the bracket also. The compressors are also mounted to the bracket. So like I said, everything is mounted to the bracket because this bracket's actually gonna get grounded to the body. All right, so the only thing that I need to do now is hook these up to the switch, run the power wire right here, and that is it. This will slap in just like this. So easy to remove. If you ever have to remove it, you just disconnect these 2 wires, unplug the power wire, and this whole thing will come back off again. Obviously take off the airline. So actually I'm gonna add the airline right now real quick, just to run it to this one. That way it's, like I said, just completely ready to go. So let me add the airline real quick. Okay, that is that. Now the airline is ran. So this airline right here will split off into a T and then go to the 2 front air shocks on this car. And then this other side of the valve right here will run to the back valves. And then basically all I gotta do is ground those back valves and run 2 wires going back for up and down, connect them to the remote, and then you know, wire on and off switch. I like to put these on an on and off toggle switch. That way I can turn it off when the car is in the off position, or turn it on when the car is in the off position. That way I don't have to always turn the key over. So I'll give constant power to the toggle switch, and then that will be able to power this at all times. So I only got a couple more wires. Like I said, 4 of these. I got the other 2 back ones that need to be grounded. I got 1 main power wire. I got 1 of these that has to go to the toggle switch, and then power supply to the toggle switch, and then the whole thing is wired up. So, and then just power to the actual remote that I'm going to be using. So probably got maybe another 5-6 wires to hook up on this air ride system, and then the actual system is hooked up itself. So I can get this in the car now. So once I get this in the car, I will pick back up with you guys and then go from there. And this is how it looks from the top side. Nice and clean. All the stuff is hidden underneath. So this is all you see from when you open the trunk of the Bug. So there it is. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one today. So I did get all the compressors hooked up. I did get the tank mounted. I did get the valves underneath it, and the relay mounted underneath the tank. I got it all wired in, put all the fittings on the tank, so it is fully ready to go into the car now. So that'll just boom, sit right there, and it'll bolt to where the gas tank bolts go. But I do have a couple more things to do just for the whole system to work. I still got to do the rear valves, so I have to run the lines going to the rear valves. I got to run the wires going to the rear valves also. But that's pretty simple. I got 2 wires there. I got a power wire here and there. I got to hook up the remote itself to the switches. From the switches to the valves, I have to hook up an on and off switch for the compressors. But like I said, max, I've probably got 5-6 wires to go still. So, but that is going to do it for this one. I did get everything all nice and neat, tucked away, zip tied. I had everything all heat shrunk, ready to go. So it is really nice. It'll just lay right in there now. So if you did like this video, go ahead and like the video, comment down below if you have any questions or want to know where I got some of this stuff. And don't forget to subscribe, and also hit the bell notification so it'll give you a notification when I do upload a new video. So you can stay tuned for that one, because part 3 is coming soon.